the US might not be able to stop Russia's deadly nuclear torpedo Status-6. Russia is developing a new nuclear-tipped torpedo with strategic ranges that can be used to target coastal areas. The unmanned underwater vehicle called Status-6 would, in the short term, present the United States Navy with a challenge that it could not counter without significant investment in new weaponry. If we assume that this is a real capability, that it will have a prototype built in 2019 and become operational in early 2020s, then this is a significant disruptive capability that the US must be able to counter. Retired U.S. Navy submarine Thomas Corlender, currently a senior research fellow for defense programs at the Heritage Foundation, told. Taking its top speed of greater than 56 kts and depth of greater than 3,280 feet into account, this would be a difficult target to kill with current weapons. Publicly available information about the U.S. Navy's Mk-48 ADACAP suggests that the weapon has a maximum speed of 55 kts and a maximum depth of 2,600 feet, which means that the torpedo would have great difficulty in countering the Status-6. This would mean that if operating close to max depth, the Navy's primary ASW, anti-submarine warfare, weapon could not reach and kill it, Corlender said. This is not to say that the Navy could not build a torpedo in the next several years before Status-6 reaches operational status that would have sufficient speed and depth. Given the Status-6's size, range and speed, certain assumptions can be made about it. I would think that at speeds in excess of 50 kts the unmanned underwater vehicle would be fairly noisy, but I am unsure of how great the detection range would be, Corlender said. A small screw at high speed would create higher frequency noise that would not propagate as far as slower turning submarine screws and other lower frequency machinery noises. Moreover, it would matter where the Russian would fire the Status-6 from, because its launch location would make a significant difference in how difficult the weapon is to track. Depending from where they launched the unmanned underwater vehicle based on endurance, they could launch from the Barents Sea and reach the coast, if it can navigate properly with inertial navigation, Corlender said. They mention that this could be launched from larger mother submarine. It would only be once the Status-6 reaches shallower waters that it would be vulnerable to interception. One of the questions that puzzles naval experts, particularly undersea warfare specialists, is how the Russian expects to control the Status-6 weapon. That they mention that it would be controlled from surface ships is interesting, Corlender said. At the end of the day, it might not matter too much. While the United States might not have a countermeasure to defeat the Status-6, assuming it actually exists, it will not take the Navy long to build a weapon to intercept it. It will be expensive and it will not be easy, but Congress would certainly appropriate the money if the Status-6 were a real problem to be solved. I think the U.S. Navy could defeat this potential capability given some time and sufficient funding to develop or modify weapons and develop CONOPS, concept of operations, to most effectively detect, locate and kill the unmanned underwater vehicle, Corlender said. It would not be easy or cheap. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.